Ever sat on a budget flight and felt like the seat was built to hurt you? You weren't imagining it. It was. Low-cost airlines didn't accidentally end up with cramped, hard, unmoving seats. Every single inch of discomfort you feel, the knees jammed into the seat in front, the headrest that doesn't move, the seat that refuses to recline, was calculated, tested, and approved. On purpose. And here's the part that should genuinely make you angry. They're not just tolerating your discomfort, they're profiting from it twice. Once when you buy the ticket, and again a few minutes later when the pain becomes unbearable enough that you pay to escape it. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how an airline designs a seat to hurt you, why that's not a mistake, and how this exact same trick is quietly used on you in dozens of places you've never even suspected. Here's the number that gives the whole thing away. Many budget airlines earn a massive share of their total profit not from the ticket price itself, but from everything they sell you after you've already committed. Seat selection, extra legroom, priority boarding, baggage fees stacked on baggage fees. For that entire business model to work, one thing has to be true. The base seat, the one you actually paid for, cannot be comfortable. If it were, nobody would pay extra for anything. So the discomfort isn't a side effect of cutting costs. The discomfort is the product. Let's take it apart, piece by piece. Think about how a low-cost ticket is actually priced. The advertised fare is deliberately razor-thin, sometimes close to break-even on its own, sometimes even a loss leader. That's not generosity, it's bait. The number that gets you to click buy before you've seen anything else. The instant you've committed, walked through security, and boarded the aircraft, the real business begins. A fee to pick your seat, a fee to bring a normal-sized bag, a fee to sit next to the person you're traveling with, extra legroom seats priced high enough that they alone can be more profitable than the base ticket. None of that works if the standard experience is good enough to just accept. So the seat pitch, the distance between your seat and the one in front, gets pushed toward the legal minimum. The padding gets thinner because thin padding is cheaper to manufacture, lighter to fly, and quicker to clean between the rapid turnarounds low-cost airlines depend on. Recline gets removed completely in the cheapest seats, not because it's technically difficult, but because a seat that reclines is a seat passengers stop noticing. Even the carry-on bag sizers at the gate are engineered tight enough that a normal bag doesn't quite fit, conveniently right when a fee is waiting. None of this is a cost-cutting accident. It's a deliberate lever, because a slightly miserable seat is exactly what makes the seat next to it, with 2 extra inches, feel like it's worth paying for. Here's the psychological trick sitting underneath all of it. Your brain doesn't judge comfort by itself, it judges comfort in comparison. Compared it to whatever option is sitting right next to it. If every single seat on the plane felt equally cramped, you'd shrug and accept it. That's just what flying is. But sit in a slightly too tight standard seat and watch a flight attendant walk past an extra legroom row a few feet away, and suddenly your ordinary seat doesn't feel ordinary anymore. It feels like a punishment. And the upgrade stops looking like a luxury, it starts looking like the obvious, reasonable fix. This is the exact same anchoring trick used in expensive restaurants, in software pricing tiers, in nearly every good, better, best pricing menu you've ever scrolled past. Show a worse option first, and the better one instantly feels reasonable by comparison, even if it's still overpriced on its own. Except here, the airline controls both sides of that comparison. They didn't just build the tempting upgrade. They built the uncomfortable baseline that makes the upgrade tempting in the first place. You're not being offered a solution to a problem. You're being sold the second half of a problem they manufactured and installed you into the moment you clicked buy. Let's get specific, because once you see the individual tactics, you genuinely can't unsee them. Seat pitch, the space for your knees, has been quietly shrinking across the entire industry for years, hovering right around whatever minimum regulators and safety guidelines technically allow. It didn't happen overnight. It happened one small reduction at a time, slow enough that no single flight ever felt like a dramatic change. The padding itself isn't thin by accident. Firmer, thinner cushions are cheaper to manufacture, lighter, which saves fuel across thousands of flights, and faster to wipe down during a 25-minute turnaround. They also happen to fail at cushioning a 3-hour flight, which nudges a tired, sore passenger's eyes toward the comfort seat map. No recline in basic seats isn't a technical limitation either. Plenty of budget carriers simply install seats that mechanically cannot recline at all, quietly removing a comfort passengers used to expect as completely standard, so it can be resold later as a premium feature. Then there's boarding. Chaotic, disorganized boarding for the cheapest fare class isn't an accident of poor logistics. It manufactures a small, very real fear of losing overhead bin space, a fear instantly and conveniently solved by paying for priority boarding. Each one of these, alone, looks like a minor design choice. Stacked together, the pitch, the padding, the recline, the boarding chaos, even the too tight bag sizers, they form a system that's almost perfectly engineered to extract more money from you than the ticket price ever admitted to.
Here's what makes this bigger than just airlines. It's a pattern. And once you name it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Create a mildly painful default experience, then sell relief from a pain the company itself installed. Free app tiers cluttered with ads and missing basic features. Software free plans deliberately capped just below what you actually need. The uncomfortable standard option, again and again, turns out to be manufactured, not accidental. So how do you actually protect yourself, starting with your very next flight? 1. Before paying for any upgrade, stop and ask whether the discomfort you're escaping is genuinely unavoidable or engineered specifically to be escaped for a fee. 2. Add up the true total cost, ticket plus every upgrade you'd realistically want, and compare that honestly against a competitor's all-in price. The cheap option isn't always cheaper once comfort is actually matched. 3. Bring your own comfort tools. A travel pillow, layers of clothing, good headphones, items you pay for once instead of paying for on every single flight for the rest of your life. 4. Simply remember that discomfort resold back to you as a feature is a signal. It means you're the product being optimized, not just the customer being served. You are not weak for wanting a seat that doesn't hurt for 3 hours. The seat was built on purpose to make you pay for comfort it was fully capable of giving you for free. Next, I'll show you another everyday system quietly built the exact same way, one you probably interact with more often than you fly. Watch it before you book your next trip.